the forces of evil are at work against those who live in the great house of Collinwood in 1840. For Gerard Stiles, possessed by an ancient enemy of the Collinses, has vowed that Quentin will be beheaded for witchcraft, and Gerard has already started to make even Quentin's father suspicious. Quentin, oblivious of Gerard's scheming, is caught in the mystery of Joanna Mills' letters, which keep appearing one by one. And this night, Quentin sets a trap to find out who is leaving his dead mistress's notes.
Give me that letter.
I beg your pardon.
I said give it to me.
Mr. Collins, I don't understand.
You were going to leave it here, weren't you?
Leave it?
Don't act innocent with me and don't stare at me like that. You don't fool me any longer.
Mr. Collins, I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you doing it? And how do you know about Joanna?
I don't understand.
Oh, yes, you do. I'll take this.
Mr. Collins, give me back my letter.
Desmond.
Yes, he asked me to go riding tomorrow afternoon. I couldn't.
I'm sorry.
Would you give it to me, please? Thank you. Good night, Mr. Collins.
No, wait. Look, I'm very sorry. I truly am.
You're a very difficult man to understand.
But I'd like to explain. But I can't. Fool. Joanna. But it can't be. How did it get in here?
Remember how we used to laugh, how warm the cottage seemed, with the snow outside. How I hated it when you finally had to go. But the day is coming when you will not leave, when we will be together. Soon. And when we are, you will sit at the piano. You will play for me the song which has come to mean your love. Do you remember it still?
Oh, yes. I remember.
What a lovely song.
Yes.
What is it?
I don't remember.
Aren't you going to finish it, Quentin?
Nope.
Are you in one of your moods again?
That always used to worry me. I never knew how to deal with them. But I guess I don't have to now, do I?
You must have wanted something since you came in here.
Don't pull that tone of voice with me, Quentin. You insisted that I stay in this house.
I only insisted that you didn't take our son. Should I repeat that? Our son.
At least I try to be civil. I simply came here to tell you that your father is much better. But he's very disturbed about those insane experiments of yours. You should get rid of them. And that staircase. You really must destroy it.
Before it's finished?
Finished? A staircase through time, really, Quentin. When Daniel told me about it, I almost doubted your sanity.
Of course. You know, I think a staircase would be very good here at Collinwood. You've got to admit that 1 or 2 times yourself you would have used it since you've come here.
Don't talk nonsense. People will think you're mad.
Do you?
About this, yes. What if Mr. Trask found out?
My dear, I shall finish that staircase simply because of Trask, and I shall send him to another century.
You really believe it, don't you? Lamar Trask is a very dangerous enemy. Of course, I don't believe his insinuations that you had anything to do with Lorna Bell's death.
Oh, thank you, dear, for your confidence.
Now,
in me.
don't be sarcastic. You're going to need all the friends you can get.
Oh, yes, I know that. I shan't count you as one of them, though.
Well, I warned you. I tried to help. Remember that.
Thank you.
You can finish your song now.
Sometimes I think it would be easier to make him fall in love with me. To make him know the torment. But then something happens, just like now, and I feel such hate. No, he must fall in love with me.
Who do you hate, Daphne? Tell me.
What are you doing in here?
Who is it that you hate?
What else did you see?
Oh, that you may fall in love with him.
And what else?
You didn't answer my first question. I was taught to answer questions. Weren't you ever?
I was taught not to sneak into people's rooms.
I didn't sneak in. I just walked in and you were too busy to see.
A diary is personal, Ted. I write in it things that I wouldn't tell anyone.
Do you know that our minister says to hate is evil?
I suppose it is. But sometimes you can do nothing else.
Is it someone in this house? The one that you hate?
I'm not going to discuss it with you, Ted.
It's all right with me. I'll find out. I'm very good at finding things out.
I don't see why we have to learn Latin. No one ever talks it anymore.
Well, if you know Latin, it'll be easier for you to learn other languages.
But I'm not going to learn any other languages.
Well, you may at least learn French. You might travel when you're grown up.
She thinks she's grown up now.
Amo, I love. Amos, you love. Amat.
She loves. Gerard.
Oh, really?
It's true. You should see all the notes that she writes him, and she never even mails them.
Tad, that's enough.
It's true, and you shouldn't be ashamed of something that's true.
I'm not ashamed. You're just too old to be...
All right, that's enough.
Well, he does.
No, it was fun having you here when you first moved in. But now...
You'll just never grow up, that's all.
Miss Harridge, is this the way you encourage discipline?
It was just an argument, Mrs. Collins.
Children are in school to learn, not argue. Perhaps I should see you alone, Miss Harridge. Children, why don't you get your coats? We'll spend the rest of the afternoon at Rose Cottage.
Oh, will we?
I know why you want to go.
Oh, stop it, Tad.
Well, he isn't going to be there now, so don't...
Mrs. Collins, they have at least 2 more hours of work to do this
Miss
afternoon.
Harridge, if I had wanted Tad to have regular hours, I would have sent him to the school in the village.
If you'll excuse me, Mrs. Collins, Tad needs the discipline of
It's
regular...
up to me to decide what Tad needs. He is not well, As I told you before, ever since he returned from that voyage with his father, he's been very delicate.
Mrs. Collins, you make my job very difficult. Now, if I thought Ted were ill, I wouldn't force him to do anything.
I know my son far better than you do, and I know what's best for him. Mr. Harridge, I refuse to have you discipline or criticize my child anymore. Is that clear?
Yes, Mrs. Collins, your attitude is very clear. Mrs. Collins, Ted is a dear boy, and I'm very fond of him. I do think I've gotten to know what he needs.
Do you? I wouldn't presume so much if I was you. Tad is not your whole life, Miss Harridge. He is mine.
Don't get so excited, because Gerard isn't going to be there now.
How do you know that?
Because Mother wouldn't be taking us there if he would be.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. I'll race you to the carriage.
Woman! Mr. Collins. What is it? What's wrong? Why have you come here? Oh, it's about Tad.
No, I've come here to apologize.
You said you were sorry last night.
Well, then to explain.
That's not necessary.
No. Then, you don't want me to explain, is that it? Of course not. Why should you? It's not your job. We're not exactly friends.
Mr. Collins, I think you need a friend. So do I.
So you want me to stay? Am I, translating you correctly? Good. Now, this room, it's no good. You shouldn't be in here. You should have a room full of light and sun. I don't know what I'm talking about. I came here to talk about myself, didn't I? Not about your room. It's very difficult. You've seen the strain in this house?
Yes, I've even felt some of it.
Samantha?
She loves your son.
Does she?
In the wrong way, perhaps.
Yes. Her love for him comes out of her hatred for me.
Oh, and she hates me, too. She stopped classes today.
What?
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that. I'm sorry. That's my affair, and I'll deal with it.
Oh, yes. You're so young and innocent, aren't you? You're going to change this house, aren't you?
Well, you keep trying.
Do I?
You hired me.
Oh, I see. I keep forgetting things like that. I did, didn't I? Sometimes I think I'm simply marking time, just letting things drift along. I need you to tell me that I'm not.
Has there always been someone who tells you that? Someone who reminds you of what life really is? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked you that.
Why?
It was much too personal.
Oh, now, we're not strangers, are we?
I don't know. Sometimes I think we aren't, and then...
And then last night?
Or the night at the oak tree.
Well, at least you've seen me at my rudest. Tell me, Daphne, do you know what it is to be without love?
Love is something I know very little about.
Oh, I don't believe that.
It's always frightened me.
Sometime it won't.
I don't like what it does to people.
What has it done to you? Oh, so you have a secret. Someone you love? So you say, but you do. And so do I. But we mustn't keep secrets, you know that? Secrets only haunt us. They don't want us to forget things that are all over. But we've got to forget them. Because you and I are alive. You know? Oh, Daphne is her name.
Quentin.
That's the first time you've ever called me that.
Now I have something else to apologize for, huh? But I won't. Because I wanted to. And I think you wanted to.
Yes.
I don't want to ask questions. Questions simply ruin things. I feel very peaceful now. And I come here to talk. And now, talking is something we can't do. I've got to walk very slowly now. Because I don't want anything to happen to the way I feel. Do you feel the same thing? Yes. You've got to depend on me. I'll depend on you. And much more important, we've got to trust each other. Because up until an hour ago, we didn't trust each other. I'll be leaving Collingwood in about an hour.
Where are you going?
But I've got to take care of something. Something very important. Something that concerns both of us. You'll be all right while I'm gone, won't you? Are you going to stand in here and saying, have I done the wrong thing? What have I done? What have I started? Am I frightened? You're going to be here when I get back, aren't you?
I'll be here.
You better be.
I didn't feel as he did. I didn't. It's part of my plan, that's all. It's just part of my plan.
You were with Gerard all day, and Mother is furious at you.
She likes him too.
Not anymore, she doesn't.
He gave me something. Oh, Tad, he knows so much. Did you know I was psychic?
You, psychic.
I am. He gave me this. I can see things in it.
Sure you can.
I'll prove it.
He shouldn't have given you that. They won't let you have it, you know.
It's changing. It's changing. The fog, it's drifting away.
Don't talk like that.
Future. The future.
If you can see the future, then tell me what our new governess is going to look like. Because this one surely isn't going to last long.
Oh, Tad!
What is it?
Tad!
What do you see?
I saw you
What was I doing?
and me. We were
What?
We were lying there, in this room. We were dead.
You are crazy.
No, I saw it. We were dead.
If you believe these things so much, you shouldn't look in them.
Oh, I do. I do.
Carrie, we're too young to die.
Oh, Tad, I'm so frightened. We look like we did now. Which means it may be soon.
Mrs. Collins, what? I have a note here from my husband. He came to see you this afternoon.
Yes, he did.
Now, did you cry and tell him what an ogre I was?
No, I did not.
Well, and I will not have you upsetting Tad's school routine.
I mentioned it to him. Yes, I felt he should know.
Miss Harridge, I run this house. Mr. Quentin Collins does not.
But you were Joanna's doctor.
I told you there was little we could do for her. She lived in the past.
But when she escaped?
We sent out an alarm, of course. We thought she would return to her home. She didn't. Then her body was found on the beach.
Doctor, tell me, did she ever have any visitors?
Oh, no regular ones. No. Few families bother coming once a relative is to be committed here. Just before Joanna disappeared, she did have one. I remember because she was quite violent after the girl left.
Doctor, do you know who the girl was?
Let me see. Let me try to remember.
I know who you are. You're the sister of Joanna Mills.